Welcome to the Fortis Fortress Podcast. I'm your host, Owen Fortis, and in each episode we will go over how to fortify your mind, fortify your body, fortify your spirit. This will help you build a firm foundation for your life. So, join me in fortifying your life, starting now. This is the Fortis Fortress Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fortis Fortress Podcast. I'm your host, Owen Fortis, and in today's episode, I'm going to be diving into how you can build and fortify a positive mindset. So, in today's ever-changing and fast-paced world, it really is so crucial that we can grow and maintain a positive mindset. There's so much negativity out there, a lot of people hating on each other, especially with the election. A lot of divisive topics, a lot of negativity, a lot of misinformation, a lot of just everything everywhere. So it's really important to develop a mindset. Also, social media and like all the negative and self-destructive things that can go on in the world on a daily basis. It's just really important that we can fortify your mind with positivity. So that being said, let's dive into today's episode. So to start, what is positivity and what is a positive mindset, right? So I looked up in the Webster's dictionary kind of what it is to be positive, and it defines positivity as the quality or state of being positive and or something that is positive. That is what it said in the dictionary. That's what positivity is. So it's not really the best definitions out there. So this begs the question, what does it mean to be positive? So I'm just going to give you my definition of what I think positivity is. Um, Essentially, positivity to me is almost the same thing as kind of being an optimist in a way. Always kind of seeing the brighter side of things when circumstances seem bleak. Always look on the bright side. Now these are my definitions of positivity. So what is a positive mindset really? It's exactly what I just said. Look at the bright side of things, even when things don't go your way. It's embracing the hardships, trials, and challenges life throws at you head on. Head on. um, it's kind of funny because this kind of brings up something like a kind of like a saying in the military, I guess, when I was in the Marine Corps, and I was kind of embrace the suck, because we knew we went through some pretty shitty times, pretty rough times, and we knew what we did was going to suck, but you just fully embraced it, and and when you fully embrace that, your mindset kind of shifts into a more positive thinking because the only way out is through, and you went through that hard stuff, so you just got to embrace it and get through it. And there's always something brighter at the end. So whenever you're going through like a rough time, a valley, um, when things seem bleak, always look on the brighter side. Try to find something positive to point out. But enough of that. Let's kind of get practical here. So in today's episode, I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can build and fortify a positive mindset. All right. 5 ways that you can implement right away, right now. Not right now, but implement in your life after this episode that you can do to help build and fortify a positive mindset. Right. Because this is the Fortis Fortress podcast where we focus on fortifying your mind, fortifying your body, and fortifying your spirit. Right. You can't build a fortress if you don't have your mind right. So let's get into it. So number one of the best ways uh, I think to help build a positive mindset is practicing gratitude, being grateful, right? Praise. For me, since I'm a Christian, I give thanks to God for every single thing in my life, and I mean everything, right? All the big things, all the small things, all the good times, all the bad times, all the like little stuff, the big stuff. Just with everything, I give thanks to God for it, um, because He provides everything I need, um, and even the things I don't need. I mean, it's all thanks to Him, and it's never ending. And for me, when I do that, I feel better, I feel more positive, because in the reality, it's not really in my hands. It's all in God's hands, and where I'm at and what I have is all because of Him. So that's important for me. So now even if you're not a Christian, you can still practice gratitude and be thankful for what you have. Sometimes it helps keeping like a journal or a booklet, writing them down because when you write them down, right, and you get a list off of things that you're grateful for, what happens is you begin to realize how much you actually have and how blessed and fortunate you are. I mean, it's really true, especially if you're watching or listening to this podcast. You're blessed because you're able to watch and hear what I'm saying. You have probably a device or a computer at home or something, a phone, some kind of piece of technology that you have. You're listening to it and be grateful for it because some people don't have that. But it's honestly crazy to see how much there is to be grateful. So when you do that, um, you'll find out, you'll experience more positivity, and you'll notice it too because you're more grateful and more thankful, and that in turns helps cultivate and build a positive mindset. So practice, practice gratitude, and you'll see it happen. Now on to the second way to help build and fortify a positive mindset. So the second way is to turn your inner monologue into a more positive one. Help view yourself in a more positive way. So what do I mean by this? So what do I mean by this and how do you do it? So for some reason it can be passed down from your parents or taught to you somehow when you're young, but a lot of people speak negatively about themselves and tend to put themselves down. So for example, they say things like I can't do this or I can never do this or this is too hard for me or this is that. Um, always saying something negative, right? The inner dialogue with themselves, bringing them down for no reason. It was taught like I don't know, it was just taught for some reason like that. That's why it's really important to create a positive inner monologue with yourself. So you can do this by changing the way you speak. So instead of saying I can't, say I can. Or instead of saying I can never, I can try my best, or I will. Become aware of your inner dialogue and listen to it. So as soon as you feel yourself talking negative, replace it with something positive. Another good practice for this too is also practicing positive affirmations. I don't like doing this myself, but I mean, I heard this helps people. But if you repeat phrases, positive phrases, and get those into your mind, you start changing and building a mindset. So change the way you speak about yourself, especially in your inner dialogue with your head, and start becoming aware of it, switching those negative phrases out for more positive phrases. You start seeing that slow change day by day. Start building each and every day that you do it. But let's move on to number three because number three, number one, kind of are the same in a way. But the third way to build and fortify a positive mindset is to challenge the negative thoughts that go on in your head, right? So that begins by becoming aware of your thoughts. So when you have a negative thought and it comes up, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. This is what I do all the time when something negative comes up in my head. I ask myself why. Like, why did I even think that? Then just switch into more positive narrative, right? Practicing on what I said earlier on looking on the bright side of the things rather than from a negative lens. So I've learned to always challenge my negative thoughts and narratives that goes on in our mind because in reality, our thoughts are the enemy. Most of the times, our thoughts are the enemy, and they tend to be negative for whatever reason. They tend to be negative, and it's important to challenge them and replace them with something positive. And for me, like I said before, I'm Christian, so I make all my thoughts obedient to Jesus and give them all to Him. So I'm not really stressing on thinking that much too much all the time and not thinking negative. And whenever I have a negative thought, I just think about God, think about Jesus, and give it to Him. And then in turn, it changes. But even if you're not Christian or religious or whatever, like I said, challenge your thoughts. Ask why. Why am I asking this? Does it help me in any sort of way of thinking this? Because in reality, they don't. If you have a negative thought, it's not going to help you out in any sort of way at all. Like, there's no point of thinking negatively about a certain situation or a certain thing that happens. They're just there to honestly hinder you. They hinder your thinking and your ability to think in a more positive way. So become aware of them and challenge them. And that's the third one. So now on to number four. This one is an absolute truth and probably, if not one of my favorites ways to build and fortify a positive mindset, but it's a freaking exercise. I cannot stress this enough. If you are not exercising, then what are you doing? Honestly, there's a list of excuses not to exercise on all of them are not valid. Maybe the only valid one is like you have some disability or condition. But even still, there's some disabled people getting some exercise in. So there's really no excuse. Go out and move. You don't need a gym pass. You don't need to go to the gym to do it. You can do it right where you are at your home. Work out at home. Go for a walk. Go for a jog. Anything. Just get out and move the body. Get physical. There's so many freaking studies that back up working out and being more positive. The body releases so many endorphins when you're working out, and it makes you more positive. So really, just get out and exercise. There's really no excuses. Like personally, me, I've been working out for almost, geez, a long time. Pretty much almost all my life. Really hit the gym the past 5, 6, no, almost 10 years now. And every single time, every time I don't feel like going to the gym and I go, I feel so much better. Every time I go to the gym and I'm done with the workout, I feel so much better. After every single workout, you tend to feel so much better. So that's why it's important. Get out, go exercise, go work out, do something, get that body moving, get those endorphins filled because that will help you build and foster your mind. And honestly, it's not even getting physical and the endorphins, it's also too knowing that you're working on yourself and working on having a better body too that helps build that kind of positivity and reinforces it that you're doing something good for yourself. So make sure you do that, guys. All right. Number 4 is pretty important. Get out there, go work out, go exercise. No excuses. Um, Now on to number 5. The fifth way to build and fortify a positive mindset. The fifth way is to spend time around positive people. This one is also a big one, all right? So there's this saying that goes like this. You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So if you're spending time with people who are negative about you, put you down, um, just kind of talk bad about you or kind of just tend to be negative, you notice it, then what are you doing, right? You notice that's not right. You want to build a positive mindset. It's important to hang out with people with positive, like-minded people like you. So if one of your friends in quotation marks is taking you down or being down on you, being negative about you, then they're really not your friend, honestly. So don't be afraid to make a switch and find like-minded people that will help support you in the right way. Surrounding yourself with positive people will help positivity rub off onto you. And that kind of plays into your thoughts too. If you're always surrounding yourself with negative people, those negative thoughts rub off onto you. And so you're kind of always thinking in that negative, non-growth mindset. But if you're hanging out with positive people, positivity, it's inevitable. It will spread up onto you too. And you'll start thinking more positively and start having better thoughts and more positive thoughts. And all in all, it just helps you throughout the time, throughout the day to build that positive mindset. So that's it. Those are the 5 ways. So just to repeat the 5 ways that you can help build and fortify a positive mindset. Number 1 was to um, number 1 was to practice being grateful, gratitude, right? Always be grateful. All the small things, right? And everything. Just practice being grateful. Number 2 is develop that inner monologue with yourself, right? Help develop it, build it up. Um, be more positive with your self talk, right? Number 3 was to challenge those negative thoughts in your head. So many negative thoughts, challenge them, beat them up if you have to, and change them for positive thoughts. Number 4, of course, you got to get exercise, go work out, do what you need to do, get something physical, go outside. It will help you so much. And then number 5 was to spend time with the right people, spend time around positive people, and find them. All right. So those are the 5 ways that you can help build and fortify a positive mindset. I hope you guys can get some sort of value from this and use it in some ways that we talked about today. If some of the things that I mentioned helped, please let me know in the comments or DMs. Just contact me and let me know what you think. Feel free to reach out. And if you would like something talked about, a topic on the podcast, or for me to interview someone, or even you, please let me know and reach out. As for now, thank you for joining me today. Please look out for the next for next week for a new episode, as we will post every week. And if you haven't watched or listened to last week's episode, please give it a listen. We'll link it down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and follow on YouTube at the Fortis Fortress Podcast. Thank you, everybody, and God bless. This has been the Fortis Fortress Podcast.